Alright guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork, and this is going to be an unboxing of the Arrma Kraton 6S BLX. This thing is just monstrous. I just received it in today, and I just can't tell you how huge this box is. I mean, I had to move my camera way back in the studio here just to capture the box in the video here. I was trying to think of, what can I show you guys to show you the size of this thing. And I mean, I grabbed just a 2S stick pack here. This is a 2S LiPo here, and you can kind of see just how massive this box is. And I'm just in huge anticipation of opening this thing. So I grabbed a couple tools to kind of get us through this, because I have a feeling we're going to need these things. First of all, I grabbed a good old standard tape measure, because we're going to measure this thing up just judging by the box. I mean, it looks like a 5th scale is in here. I also grabbed some calipers, because I know people are going to want to know the size of the shocks and some other things, that the CVDs or dog bones. So it's just going to be an interesting unboxing. I hope you guys stay tuned for this. Now, of course, Arrma, definitely known for some of their basher rigs out there, and just making tough rigs that just can do basically everything. Their BLX version is definitely their brushless systems, and right there, they're not scared to say that. 60 plus miles an hour and 6S. You guys know what 6S means, right? That means 6S LiPo right out of the box. So you're able to drop in 2 3-cells and get some serious speed out of this thing. So they're not afraid. They're not going to say, yeah, you could use 4S. No, 6S right here. Right there, 6S. So down on the bottom, RTR. So this is basically a full RTR in the box. It's waterproof, which that's great. BLX, of course, their brushless power system. 2-year limited warranty at the bottom. God, I can't wait to open this thing up. I got the green version, the one that you see here in the front of the box. Has kind of this carbon-esque look to it. Huge monster tires. They're calling this a 1/8 scale monster truck. And God, this thing is huge. Just I haven't even opened it up yet, and it just I'll be disappointed if this thing's tiny in the box, or if there's a lot of bubble wrap in there or something. So let me go ahead and move the camera around. I'm going to open this box so I can fit it. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Hang on. Alright, I got the lid off. I cut the seals off of it, and there it is. I mean, oh my God, this thing is huge. I've been, pretty much a 10th scale guy. I've had a couple of 8th scale buggies in the past, but of course I've been watching lots of YouTube out there, and of course Aussie RC Playground Voss down under has been just pumping out monster truck after monster truck, and it just got me interested. So I decided, what's the newest monster truck on the market? I came across the Kraton here, and God, this thing looks cool. I mean, just from opening the box, I mean, it almost looks like this is a short course body here. I mean, it's just ridiculous in size. It has almost even a larger 8-scale buggy wing on the back than I'm seeing right here out of the package. And, I've seen some monster trucks where the wheels aren't actually mounted, and they're like kind of hidden inside the box. This thing's fully ready to go out of the box. It's already mounted. It's ready to go. So it's going to get really awkward here, because this is a huge box. I'm going to start pulling some stuff out of this thing and kind of hopefully keep you guys entertained as I do this. Really quick size on the box. I mean, just so you know what to expect, 28 inches, and the height of this thing is about 19 inches. Depth, looking at 10 inches deep. I mean, this is a huge box, if you can just imagine that, sitting in your RC shop. So really quick, let's pull some of this stuff out. It looks like we have a full owner's manual here. So we have all of the items and things that we're going to need to, work on this truck and make sure it's a great truck. We got a huge T-wrench. I don't know if you can see that. I don't even own one of those things. Has a 17mm hex on one side, and looks like we got some extra blocks in here, possibly for batteries or whatnot. extra pinion gear in here. Lots of extras, which I really appreciate. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the radio out. I kind of had a glimpse of this thing. I don't want the whole truck to fall out here, but I think we can squeeze it out. Alright, we'll maybe hold that on there. So inside here, this is going to be probably our typical Arrma radio. This is one of the Fly Sky versions that we see, you know, throughout a lot of the RC industry. Great radio. I mean, nothing, you know, to cry about. This thing is just an awesome radio. I'm gonna have to set this down. God, the sheer size of it has just rocked my studio here. But pretty much your standard ATX 100 radio, 2.4 gigahertz, has the flip-up antenna right here. Cool little feature here where this thing flips up, and you've got all of your trims and everything right inside there. So you have your steering trim, your throttle trim, steering dual rate. You have your reversing for both steering and throttle. You have a little bind deal right there, so if you need to rebind this to something else, or there you go. So a little light there that actually shines through this kind of iridescent kind of top here. You have your on-off switch right there. Nice wheel, kind of a drop-down design, which is definitely appreciated. Bottom side here takes 4 AA's, so not too bad. Always appreciate that. No more 8 AA's. We don't need those things in the RC world. So great radios. Should be you know, great on down the line here with the Arrma Kraton. So once again, let me flip this thing back up, guys. Oh God, I'm gonna have to go back to the gym. So this you know, of course, huge box here. Let's get this thing out. This is gonna get awkward. God, I see all the suspension just rolling in this thing. I've seen some RCs in the past where they have the suspension like all zip tied down, and you know, it's, you know, ready for shipping. But you know, they didn't do that with this thing. This thing is just monstrous. I'm already feeling the coldness of the aluminum chassis on the bottom. I mean, it's just massive. Can you guys see this thing? Look at that tire. Holy crap. Alright, boss, this is going to be a showdown here. Check this thing out. Already heard the click of that Mod 1 pinion gear. I mean, this thing is just huge. I'm going to adjust the camera here because the box had me all going weird. But there's the Kraton, guys. Look at this thing. I think it's just massive. Look at that suspension travel. I mean, that's a lot. Just to give you guys some idea of the sheer size of this thing. I happen to have a short course body here. It almost looked like there's a short course body on there. I mean, here's a short course body for a 10 scale short course truck. It almost looks like it could fit on there like as a stock body. So pretty cool. Another thing I got here, I got my B5M, my 10 scale buggy. Wanted to show you guys that thing, just in comparison to size. Maybe you got a 10 scale buggy at home and you can kind of compare that. But God, look at that thing. Look at that little mini I got sitting on top of the Kraton. So pretty cool. Let's start looking at this thing. I mean, immediately, of course, the tires are just massive. I mean, we're looking at on end 6.5-inch tires on this thing. They're just huge. Right about 3.5 inches wide. They're just massive. They got these huge kind of 6-lug or 5-lug design tires right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. I mean, really cool design. 17mm hexes all the way around. Looks like they're aluminum as well, which is really appreciated. Looks like it's riding on a pillow ball design, which is pretty cool. And you got full CVDs, at least in the front. I'm gonna have to get to the rear. Let me walk around to the rear side of this thing. I just can't get over the massive size of this thing. It's just so cool. I mean, let's flip this thing on the other side here. There's that aluminum chassis, very kind of 8-scale buggy-ish, but it's long. I mean, it's long like a truggy should be. Has the opening right there for the steel spur gear. I'm already feeling that steel right there. Little cutouts right here, not cutouts, but bulges for the diffs. But huge design, huge arms, almost a solid arm design, which is pretty cool. But God, this thing is just huge. All right, let's get this body off. Pull all these pins. 4 pins here, so nothing too major to get the body off. Body seems to be somewhat of a screen print design, so that's pretty cool. You know, it has the green and kind of that carbon fiber look. Has that huge grille, kind of that Chevy Silverado looking grille, or on the HD trucks, it kind of looks like that. So underside's all white. Looks like they have, oh, that's cool. They put like little kind of skid guards inside here to help protect the paint from you know, hitting the sides of the body. So that's pretty cool. Just a little added touch there. Thank you, Arrma. All right, so let's start looking at this thing. This has this kind of like tower right here. It acts as kind of like a handle, and also to you know, protect the body from getting squashed when you happen to flip this thing over. So you know, already we're seeing just huge components. I'm looking at, I got my calipers ready here, guys. Let's see if I can get my calipers even around this. I'm going to take the reading here of the shocks, and it looks like we have 17mm big bore shocks. Those things are huge. A little bit larger on the outside of it because it's the inside bores what you're looking at. I'm going to move the camera around again because I can't get around this thing. It's huge. I'm going to move it up and close so you guys can see deep into the chassis. God, that motor's looking huge too. Alright, we're back now, and I went ahead and moved the camera so we can just take a look at this without me lifting this thing up to the camera. Already this huge honking motor. This is a Arrma branded motor. It's called the X18. Even a little warning on there that the motor's going to be hot. This thing is definitely 6S compatible. 2050 kV. Has a huge 8-scale ESC in here, huge capacitors on there, which is definitely appreciated. Built-in fan. You can see the heat sink kind of looking into it. Has a 10-scale servo in here, so a little bit of a small servo, but you know, already aluminum servo horn right off the bat. So nice upgrade right out of the package. You have some waterproofing here on the switch. Nice details here with the cord management. I definitely appreciate that. The shocks are just massive. I mean, you can see right there, these are all aluminum threaded body shocks, and that's aluminum cap, aluminum kind of knurled adjuster there, red anodized aluminum shock body. These things are just huge. Has these kind of rubber boots in here just to keep the dirt out and whatnot, so pretty cool. You got sway bars both front and rear included right in the package here. Huge 5mm thick aluminum shock towers. Definitely appreciated. We're seeing it looks like we're riding on dog bones in the rear, and we have front CVDs. So that's cool. That's definitely appreciated. You pretty much don't need CVDs in the rear, but CVDs in the front definitely help with the steering angle and keeping everything moving. You have 5mm thick drive shafts here. They just look huge. I mean, I've pretty much only ran 8th and 10 scale, bigger than I've ever seen. So that's definitely cool. You have a waterproof receiver box here, which is appreciated. On the flip side, you do have somewhat of an adjustable battery box, and if I can flip this thing around here in the studio without hitting everything, you'll see here we have somewhat of a unique design here. This is a double Dean's connector, or what they're calling a T connector, so not an officially branded Dean's. But it has like a little loop right here, so you can run it on one large 4S or 6S or even a 2S to get used to things, or you can unplug this thing and run 2 separate batteries. So if you want to run 2 2S's for 4S or 2 3S's for 6S. So definitely appreciated that you don't have to go out and buy like a series connector, because that's added money on down the line. So has a little warning sticker here, you know, warning, read all the instructions. This thing can be, you know, dangerous if you use it incorrectly. Huge 8-scale buggy wing. It almost looks larger than an 8-scale buggy wing. This is solid plastic, so it's not Lexan or anything that can break easily. You know, once again, the big bore shocks in the rear again. You do have adjustable turnbuckles, both front and rear. They're huge as well, 5mm. It looks like the standard size on this thing is all 5mm steel. You do have pillow ball suspension, like I told you earlier, so you're able to adjust, you know, your different adjustments on the front as well by adjusting the pillow balls. So pretty cool. You got like an upper A-arm and a lower A-arm. A-arms seem to be very, very thick. I mean, they're just huge. Center drive shaft is all dog bone construction. So once again, 5mm. You have huge shock braces right here, shock tower braces to keep everything, you know, from folding up on all that 6S power. So, God, I can't wait to run this thing. Look at that suspension travel. So I may sound excited, but I'm really digging all of this thing. This thing is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and shove the body back on here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little unboxing of the Arrma Kraton. I know I definitely have. If you have any questions about this thing, please post them on down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.